A person who identifies as a turtle advises the state of Oregon on the best practices for mental health.
You gave them your DNA. You gave them your children's DNA. You handed the serpent the blueprint of your bloodline and called it curiosity.
I'm not a guy with a gun.
You are a guy with a gun. You are a guy with a gun. In a building where I've been told that I am not allowed to have the equal right to self-defense.
There's an experiment that took place in the 60s. You get a stranger to murder somebody else. Familiar with it?
No.
Yale University is doing an experimentation on learning. Mm-hmm. You're both volunteers. There's a guy in a lab coat that's running this thing. And he says, we're going to draw straws. One of you will be the teacher and one will be the learner.
I'm extremely suspicious of normal people. I think that they're devious for the most part because they're lying. The only way that you can be normal in a society like this is to be complicit with things that are inhuman. Joseph Conrad said, I think, in The Heart of Darkness, that the devil of our age is not satanic and diabolical. He's this flabby, mediocre creep. I mean, just nothing special about him, and people are fools to fall for all his tricks because they're not very good tricks. I mean, that's what we live in now, is this morally indifferent and complacent, lazy-minded, passive hordes of people just waiting for who knows what.
But then I've seen men become not people.
Like
literally not people. Yeah,
okay.
And there is like lycanthropy, and there's these understandings of what the Watchers are capable of doing that most people are just woefully ignorant of, and that's why they're perishing. It's because they lack a basic understanding of history.
There is a huge white nationalist movement going on in the United States. I knew about it years ago, but there wasn't anything I could do because it's freedom of speech. Plus, they're very organized and they're very hidden.
States are taking children, giving them to somebody else for money that they get from the federal government. That means that all 50 states are involved in government-subsidized child trafficking. It's a ring.
The very word church. The word church is an English word. From the King's English, it goes back to a word in Scottish, kirk. K-I-R-K is church in English. Kirk in Scotland goes back to a Roman goddess, Circe. Circe goes back to a Greek goddess in Greece called Circe.
Okay, so this is a person who records bad walkers in New York City. So he'll show just how groups of people will walk in these line formations and you can't get around them. Or there'll be a group that'll just be walking so slow, but like with no concept that anybody is walking behind them. Very rude. And he has made 47 videos. And I watched every single video and I noticed something. Not a single person in any of those videos is.
We're worried about what the restaurants are feeding us, but here's the main supply line from the road. This is all PVC, and when it heats up, the glue that holds it together melts and you drink it, and it's highly toxic.
This florist's child died due to pesticides found in the flowers. So this is Laurie, and she was a florist. She handled beautiful bouquets every single day, but she didn't know that the very same flowers that she was handling would lead to the death of her child.
Can you talk a little bit about the toxicity from the brake dust and the tires alone?
The measurement of tires, which is easy to measure. The United States government did a study in 2009 to 2010, and they were like, where's all the rubber on the road? There's enough tires sold and worn out in 1 year that is 10 billion pounds of tread dust. Where is it? Because nothing on the road. So they got helicopters. They started doing a study going up, 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 up. It took 1.5 miles to run out of the nanoparticles from tires alone. And that's rubber, cotton, epoxies, resins, plastics, metals, chemicals, and ceramics.
You know the white girls who like wear bonnets but are like really annoying about it, and then they're like, well, white people always wear bonnets. Put this shit on. Put this shit on. I don't want to hear white women always wear bonnets unless you have this shit on. Put it on. Jesus.
You might be literally at the bottom of the genetic pool. All the stupid people, all the people in this world, you might be at the very bottom. I'm going to seriously take you and bring you to the game farm, and I'm going to have all the fucking horses run a fucking train on you. They're going to plow you out. They're going to plow you out and give your
put a girl line.
Completely, I gobbled it up. It was so well done, and all of you play a part in that chemistry. Vanessa Sue is a soon-to-be mom who's going to be stepping into this massive new role, but she also wants to hold on to her career and still save the world and protect the citizens.
I spoke to Matt and Kevin and everybody about any tropes, and I was worried about it at certain points. He annoyed him sometimes because I was thinking about it so much because there are so many cliches associated with so much of the time mothers in films over the decade.
4% of the American people own 85% of the wealth of America. What's Morgan and Baruch and Rockefeller and Mellon gonna do with all that grub? They can't eat it, they can't wear the clothes, they can't live in the house. But when they've got everything on the God's living earth that they can eat and they can wear and they can live in, then we got to call Mr. Morgan and Mr. Mellon and Mr. Rockefeller back and say, come back here. Put that stuff back on this table here that you took away from here, that you don't need. We're not going to destroy the Gulf Refining Company. We're not going to destroy the Standard Oil Company. But we're going to say that the limit of any one man's stock ownership in the Standard Oil Company is from $3 to $5 million to that individual.
He was assassinated after that.
Put that on social media so y'all can stop doing that, man. Sagging started in slavery when the homosexual slave master would rape young black slaves. It's called buck breaking. You were forced to wear your pants below your waist so other homosexual slave owners could know you've been already buck broken.
Don't let that white man take you.
When y'all walking down the street like they laughing at y'all don't even know. Put that on social media so y'all can stop doing that, man.
Hello, everybody. It's JD, turtle and pronouns. Pronouns are turtle and they, them.
Hello, everybody. It's JD. I use they, them, or turtle for pronouns. Hello, everybody. It's JD, they, them, and turtle for pronouns in the Springfield, Eugene area.
Do you remember when mental health experts used to diagnose delusions instead of putting them on advisory boards? Those were good times. Imagine walking into a therapy session and the person across from you says, I understand what you're going through. I'm a turtle. At that point, the only mental health advice you need is run. Nothing says stable decision-making like taking life advice from someone who thinks they belong in a terrarium.
You're going to see a video of a desperate, stranded woman on the side of a dark road. These officers have two options. Be a human being or be an uncompassionate lack of a public servant.
You just keep walking north till you get to Kennett, but you're probably going to get run over if you stay on this white one.
It's a dark road. I can't see nothing without lights.
There's another gas station up the road about 2 miles.
Can you please take me there?
We can't give you a ride.
Please.
I don't have nowhere to put your stuff.
In the trunk?
Not really. She can walk.
This lady ended up being struck and killed. All she was asking was for a ride 2 miles down the road. This happens all the time, and it is always an option just to load her up and get her down the road. And I don't want to hear, oh, we didn't have enough room in our squad. There's 2 of you there. Figure it out. One chance to be a blessing. But in your mind, you saw her as less than you, didn't need to help her. This is the police culture that I will fight against until my last breath. And it's not just like a couple clubs, down south. It's not just that. They have them in every single state. In bigger states, they have them in every single city. And it's not just like a club where people come together and, have a couple drinks and play cards. They are training. They organize together with outside chapters to work out martial arts, firearms.
They also do other things that, just regular dude shit. But these are not just dudes. These are dudes that have been training for the past few years because they want to be ready for what's about to happen. And everybody told me I was crazy. Oh, you're crazy. Why are you spending that much money on ammunition? Why do you work out so much? This is why. I told people that when this shit happens, don't come to me. I was crazy every day but one. The day it happened. Now I'm gonna hold your hand when I'm telling you this because I mean this in the nicest way. If you are a bigger person, you need to lose weight fast. You need to go get a gym membership. You need to work out. If you are out of shape in any way or form, even if you're in shape, you need to join a gym. Lift weights. Do cardio. If you have a boxing membership or some type of martial arts, even better. If you do not own a firearm, buy one. Practice with it. Yeah, they're expensive. Put it on a fucking credit card. Not like we're going to last long enough for you to pay it off. And no, don't buy a freaking High Point. You need to do your research. Buy something very reliable. Buy something that you can afford as well. Buy ammo. Buy ammo. If you can afford plates, buy them. Level 4 plates. Buy tactical first aid kits. Make a bug out bag. I know there's some people that have had trouble getting in shape. This is a reason to, because this isn't a negotiation anymore. Now you don't have a choice. You have to. This will save your life. You got a bunch of social medias, delete them. I mean it. Delete them. That $500 billion that we're putting into AI, we already have AI. They're going to use it as surveillance. They are going to access your phone without you knowing. And be careful what you say to people, because over 100,000 members worldwide of this organization, they'll turn you in when things go south. And the names of the clubs will not always be obvious. I want to point that out. They have hundreds of different names, and not all of them you would think, oh, that's a club.
What if you walked into a government building and confronted all of the state employees about the fact that they might be working for an organized crime syndicate? Well, somebody did just that. His name is James Freeman.
The organized crime unit in control of this entire turf operates out of this building and that building over there.
That organized crime works out of City Hall and the building across the street from it.
That's right.
Also city property.
Yep. We're doing a documentary on organized crime. Ben, please don't be disorderly. We were told that some of the people here, if not all of them, are affiliated with an organized crime syndicate. What do you know about that? Ben, you're getting a little fired up. I need you to not be disorderly.
What are your other questions, sir?
Ben, I need you to not be disorderly. What did you say this building is then?
City Hall.
So it has nothing to do with organized crime?
No.
Wonder if I got a bad tip. Or are you hiding something? It looks like a really expensive place. Where does the money come from to fund it?
It would be from the city government.
Where does the city get the money from?
That is beyond my understanding.
So it could be organized crime if you don't know where the money comes from. I was told that the place is completely run on extortion, theft, threats of force and violence against people if they refuse to fund it. So you don't know how the money is collected?
No.
But it's definitely not collected through coercion, threats of force or violence or anything?
I've never witnessed or seen that, no.
Would you personally be willing to escalate to killing somebody over their right to self-defense? I was given a tip that this is the location of the organized crime syndicate in power over this entire turf. You okay? Why did you call a guy with a gun?
What are your other questions?
Right now I'm asking, why did you wave a guy with a gun over here? I was just asking you questions. Sure. Ben, please don't be disorderly. Ben, why did you call a guy with a gun over here when I asked you questions? So I ask you if this place is funded by threats, coercion, and violence, and your answer is to call a guy with a gun. His immediate response was to wave a guy with a gun over. Does that make sense?
I'm a security officer.
Right.
I'm not a guy with a gun.
You are a guy with a gun. You are a guy with a gun in a building where I've been told that I am not allowed to have the equal right to self-defense. I think the police just showed up for us.
What? You already know I'm going to take protection. Are you telling me you're going to take her? Come take her then. Come take her. No, you come take her then, bad man. I'm not trying to. Come take her, bad man.
You know, I'm not trying to take her away from here.
You ain't finna take her. You ain't finna take her out this room. Y'all finna get the fuck on. Point blank.
Be in your best interest just...
No, it be in your best interest. You go out of song, brother. Stop trying to send threats over here. Stop threatening to take my child. When you don't have no probable cause to take my child. Don't know he say, she say. That means I could call down there right now and say you beating on your kids. Yeah, see how that look? You do beat your kid. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Then that's where you fucking up right there. And then you'll never know how I feel right now. That's why you steady looking up over there. You're a devil just like her. You're a devil. I'm not. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I'm not putting my child down nowhere for y'all to take her nowhere. That means I'm insisting on y'all taking her. I'm telling y'all not taking her.
If I went over there and put my hands over, you over me?
Hell no! You're not getting her. You are not allowed to take my child. I'll plead the fifth. I don't want to talk to you no more. I want you to talk to my lawyer. Bro, I'm gonna fuck you up if you touch my child. Bro, don't touch my child. Hey, get him the fuck off me.
Get him off of him. What are you doing?
Go put your hands on me.
Get him off of me.
Put your hands on me. I can't.
There you go, Bree. Don't touch my daughter.
I know.
Don't touch my daughter.
You can remove her. So.
Don't touch my daughter.
I'm trying to take your baby from you.
Bro, don't. Watch out, Bree. Watch out, Bree. He ain't finna touch her. Trust me.
So this happened in Bellingham, Washington, and the man's name is Paul Jonathan Bittner, and yes, that's who's behind me. And he pled guilty to second-degree assault and a hate crime. But let's talk about this for a second, because a grown man, a stranger, walked up to a literal child and physically assaulted him solely because of the color of his skin. There was no prior argument, no confrontation. This wasn't self-defense. There wasn't any kind of confusion. It was just pure unprovoked racism, a hate crime in the most literal sense, because this child was literally just existing. And despite all of this, somehow this story barely made a blip on the news cycle. What I'd like to know is, where are all the people who always are so quick to scream, protect the children? Where is your outrage now? Because this little boy is traumatized for life, and Paul Bittner gets less than 4 years. He is smiling here as he gets sentenced. Make it make sense. As always, drop your thoughts about this one in the comments, because I can't wait to read these, and hit that follow button if you don't already.
Hi, here's a list of things I find worthy of revolution. Number 1, Congress getting over 200 days of paid time off a year, but then voting no against the American people getting paid time off. That's called hypocritical revolution. Number 2, working for a company with the name Union in it, but then that company union busts its own employees. The irony writes itself. Revolution. Number 3, not providing housing to help get the homeless off the street, instead just making homelessness illegal. Because that fixes the problem. Revolution. Number 4, baby powder companies selling baby powder knowing it had carcinogens in it so that they could make more money. Let me say that again. Baby powder companies sold baby powder meant for babies with carcinogens in it, and the only consequence was a small fine. That shouldn't be a true thing I can say out loud. Revolution. Number 5, insurance being more expensive than your mortgage, but it literally covers nothing. I'm ready for people to stop putting up with that. Revolution. This may be hard to believe, but I'm not even close to done with this list. I still have hundreds more, and I'm really curious of how long I'm going to be able to make these videos before I run out of reasons. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and continue to put your reasons for revolution in the comments. I appreciate your faces. The baby powder one is diabolical.
So this teacher in Idaho got in trouble for posting this. A sign which says, in this room, everyone is welcome, important, accepted, respected, encouraged, valued, equal. And this, everyone is welcome, with hands of different skin tones. Sarah Inama is a teacher at Lewis and Clark Middle School in Meridian, Idaho, near Boise. According to the Idaho Statesman, the school district said that regarding the everyone is welcome sign, it was not the message that was the issue, but rather the hands of different skin tones on the poster. The hands of different skin tones. The school district went on to liken what's going on to a sports analogy, saying every player knows that while they bring their own strengths and personality to the game, they must operate within the rules to maintain fairness and consistency. If one player decides to wear a different uniform, use a different size ball, or ignore the rules, the game would lose its structure, creating confusion and imbalance. The teacher is not backing down. She has refused to take down the posters. She initially took them down, but then after talking with her husband and reflecting on it herself, she decided to put them back up. Sarah told KTVB TV in Boise, Idaho, that she was told by an official at the school that not everyone believes everyone is welcome, so that's why there's a problem with the poster which says everyone is welcome. Sarah says she's now wanting to protect her students from racist sentiments that are affecting their classroom. The Idaho Statesman also quoted the academic officer for the district, saying they told the teacher that her signs may have violated Idaho's Dignity and Non-Discrimination in Public Education Act, as well as school policy, which requires signs to be content neutral and conducive to a positive learning environment. Because this, they believe, is not neutral and not conducive to a positive learning environment.
It's so weird watching black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities.
It's like, you know how happy we'd be to see black people start a functioning black community? Like, we would leave you to it. We would be, oh my goodness, good for you guys.
You were saying?
So the other guy draws the learner straw. He goes to you, you become the teacher. Unbeknownst to you, this other guy's a volunteer. He's in on it. You're the only person participating in the experiment. So they sit you down at this machine and they say, this is an electric shock machine. And it goes from like 30 volts all the way to the right where it says XXX danger extreme shock. So you can hear him go, ah, you go, oh, for some of those intro shocks. But every time you get one wrong, you have to take that little slider and move that voltage up one notch. So the guy keeps getting it wrong, keeps getting it wrong.
225 volts.
Around 275, he's saying, I have a heart condition. I want to stop. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to stop. I'm done with this. Come get me out of here. Around 400 volts, there's no more reaction. It's total silence, and he's not even answering the questions anymore. So you turn back around to this guy in the lab coat, and you're like...
But he's not making any noise now.
And the guy in the lab coat says, it's important that you continue.
We must continue to the end of the experiment.
And shocking, increase, shock, increase, all the way to this 450 extreme. So before this experiment took place, these psychiatrists got together and they said, how many people are going to go through with this? Who's going to go all the way and kill somebody? And they thought 0.8%. You have to be a psychopath. You have to want to hurt people. And in reality, 67% of people went all the way. So Stanley Milgram's trying to find out, do people just respond to orders like the Nuremberg trials were going on? And these Nazis were saying we were just following orders. 250 volts is enough to kill you. 100% of people went up to 250 volts. Dr. Milgram hypothesized that they undergo something called an agentic shift, where they become an agent on behalf of an authority figure. This is a big deal.
I just don't understand why people do this. This is not the first time I see this in New York. The garbage truck is trying to do its job, pick up the garbage, but this guy on the bicycle is so selfish, he's just standing there. They're just trying to do their job, like move out of the way. That would have been so frustrating for me if I would have been doing this job. Like, you could just go on the sidewalk or just move along. Why do you have to just stand there? He's doing it it seems like he's doing it on purpose. Like, he doesn't want to move. Like, so frustrating. So frustrated. In the end, the guy just gets so frustrated and just leaves. Because what can you do at this point?
Serpentine Chevrolet, Andrew speaking. How may I help you?
Good afternoon, Andrew. This is Detective Dodge Durango with the Passat Police Department. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing okay. But just so you know, that guy calls here still every day harassing us. Is there an update on him at all?
Oh, well, sorry to hear that, Andrew. Yes, actually, so we do have him in custody. We're just calling to see if you guys want to move forward in pressing charges.
Yeah, I mean, I think without a doubt we want to press charges, yeah.
Okay, so I guess then just to move forward, we just need a couple things from you guys to do so.
All right, that sounds great. What would those things be?
Okay, so first and foremost, we're just going to need you to put a girl line.
You might be literally at the bottom of the genetic pool. All the stupid people, all the people in this world, you might be at the very bottom. I'm going to seriously take you and bring you to the game farm, and I'm going to have all the fucking horses run a fucking train on you. They're going to plow you out. They're going to plow you out and give your
put a girl line.
I want to be really clear about where we're at because I think it's important. Yesterday, before the Supreme Court, the Trump administration argued that they have the right to arrest any person in the United States, citizen or not, for any reason that they deem acceptable, and ship them to a foreign jail in any country that they'd like for any amount of time without due process. That is what they are arguing they have the right to do.
And on top of all of that, they're also arguing that the U.S. court system has no power to stop them from doing any of this. They are pushing to arrest anyone they want for any reason that they want and send them anywhere that they want for any amount of time that they want without any court system being involved. That should terrify anybody and everybody, because it doesn't matter anymore what the law is. They can arrest you for simply writing an opinion piece, as they did with Ramisa Ozturk. They can arrest you for liking an Instagram post. They can arrest you for having tattoos that they don't like and ship you overnight to a foreign fucking labor camp. That is where we are at. That is what they are trying to do. And they are coming after citizens next. They said it, not me, on a hot mic to the president of El Salvador.
Enjoying yourself?
You know, covering everything.
Nothing better to do?
Honor your
oath. How about honor your oath, bitch? How about that? Honor your oath. Oh, there you go.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't say nothing.
You're supposed to get lost. This guy goes to jail. He goes to jail. Let's go. Put your hands behind your back. Yep. Let's go. You go to jail. Bro. Big mouth.
I'm just watching. I'm watching. I didn't do nothing.
Hey, I didn't my glasses. Party's over.
I'm gonna have a heart attack. You're fucking pushing me. I'm not resisting. I swear I'm not resisting. I didn't do anything and I'm alive. I'm not doing anything.
Never underestimate the butterfly effect of a tiny public access show in upstate New York. Clay Tiffany was an independent journalist and the fearless host of Dirge for the Charlatans. Notorious for being a thorn in the side of local officials and law enforcement, Clay Tiffany would probe into corrupt politicians and dirty cops, then broadcast his findings on his public access show. But with this fame came enemies in powerful places. One being Briarcliff police officer slash bodybuilder Nicholas Tartaglione, who in 1997 pulled Clay Tiffany over, warned him to stop looking into the police department, said he has ties with the mob, then physically assaulted the TV host. Obviously, this led Clay to delve further into the cop, and so began a long-standing feud between the two. Tiffany dug into his past and found that Tartaglione had a history of assault in his time as a police officer. Clay Tiffany would slam him and the BPD on Dirge for the Charlatans, and in retaliation, Tartaglione would find him and beat him up. This happens at least 4 times, with the last confrontation putting Clay in the hospital. He would host the next episode from his hospital bed. Clay sued the police department, winning a big settlement, but Tartaglione was never charged or found guilty of a crime. Until this story goes somewhere I never could have predicted. Clay Tiffany passed away in March 2015 of natural causes, and the following year, Nicholas Tartaglione was arrested after killing 4 men over stolen drug money and burying them in a mass grave in the woods. Tartaglione, now facing a life sentence, has been behind bars since his arrest, where in 2019, he was the last person to share a prison cell with Jeffrey Epstein.
I'm the leader of a satanic sex cult pedophile ring.
Said we kill babies, we drink their blood, we eat them.
Found out that the police were looking for me.
My name's Steve and I'm a policeman.
And there's 100+ involvement in this, including CAFCAS, the police, social services, the school.
She's one of the 20 special children.
Because I know, because she comes and they do sex to her, mostly.
Who's they?
The teachers, the parents, the staff.
They named 60, 78 people.
The social services who are in it,
yeah.
They go to families, so the families can't afford, so they get a baby but they can't look after it.
And what did the police say to you that you'd been accused of?
They were showing with their hand movements how I would get their hand on the knives and we would cut the baby's neck, drain the blood.
He forces me and Gabriel to do it, but because we can't, we're not strong enough to cut the baby's head off. He does us to hold the knife, and he puts his hand at the top of our hand, and he helps us to cut the baby's head off. Because he's learning, he's teaching me and Gabriel, so when we're older, to do it to our own children and do this kind of stuff to our own children.
Where is it?
And then drink the blood, and I mean, it's just horrific upon horrific detail.
Was it abroad, you think, where your ex-partner and her new boyfriend filmed your children making these allegations, which were then uploaded onto the internet?
Yeah, what they did.
This is like the entrance. Then after there's this other room where the priest does his things are in there.
Right.
Yes, but then after where the big carpet
how do you know
place,
that?
because we go there. We do sex there.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so then where this big carpet space, there's another door leading into there. The baby, Mrs. Forsyth, the headmistress, she cuts the baby.
And what about all the bones and that?
Yes, they keep the bones.
Where?
But they,
Where do they go?
No, I know, but the bones, they don't just like keep them. They make stuff out of them. So they make like statues of the church.
Where are all these statues?
Yes, because they got carving, like there's people carving people. They work near Swiss Cottage, somewhere there. That's where they work, in a carving shop. And it's just, and then they tell that there's a man called Felix there, and then he makes this he makes statues of churches.
This is a big bullet that does massive damage and makes a bloody mess.
To them, you're a cockroach. The horrifying videos that you've seen of people who suddenly die by planking, by just falling over in one piece. Typically, they either look around in perplexity because they're obviously hearing and experiencing something and they're looking for the source, or they don't do that, but they just suddenly die in one piece. It's the mother walking the baby in the baby stroller. It's the guy buying food at the fast food window. It's the person walking down the street. It's the Arab diplomat speaking to a bunch of poobahs. And as he turns around to celebrate somebody, he simply falls over backward in one piece. Well, I'm a doctor, and let me tell you that people don't die by falling over in one piece. I believe that the nanotechnology that has been injected into them causes the voluntary muscles, the striated muscles, to go into a spasm when they're hit with a pulsed microwave 5G signal. Exactly. That's the kind of death we're talking about. And you notice that the arms and legs go out stiffly. The muscles that move your body are striated muscles, voluntary muscles, but you have another striated muscle. It's your heart. And so if you're hit with an energy pulse that causes you to go into total spasm, as this boy on the screen has gone into total spasm, your heart is also going into total spasm. I believe that these are experimental deaths to see if the pulsed microwave 5G system, soon to be replaced by the 6G system, is effective in eliminating those who are targeted for that elimination. And you will watch as this man goes into a complete spasm. This is not how people ordinarily die. This is induced death. This is part of the experimental program to which you notice her arm is extended. She's in spasm. Her heart, I believe, has been placed into spasm as well. Now, if they're willing to do this to us, what else are they willing to do to us?
It started with innocent questions. What's my ancestry? Am I part Viking, part royalty? You spit in a tube, you clicked submit. And with that, your entire genetic lineage was handed to a corporation. You didn't just trace your heritage, you entered a system. 23andMe partnered with GlaxoSmithKline, one of the largest pharmaceutical giants on Earth. Then came BlackRock, the trillion-dollar global puppet master, dubbed by some the company that owns the world. Its name, the Blackstone. In ancient rituals, the Blackstone absorbed power, held oaths, marked offerings. They're not just running reports, they're running filters, searching for something rare, something sacred. Davidic descendants, lost tribes, Nephilim markers, the bloodline of Christ or Cain. Your DNA didn't go to storage, it went to sorting. In Babylon, bloodlines weren't just heritage, they were heavenly mandates. Osiris and Isis, siblings married to preserve godblood. Pharaohs ruled by birthright, not merit. Sirius, the star of kingship, marked divine heirs by blood and sky. Today the rites look different, but the goal is the same: find the chosen, control the rest. Temples became labs. Prophets became algorithms. Your DNA was offered like incense, and BlackRock became the new oracle. The question isn't where you're from, it's what are you worth to those who never stopped worshipping blood.
And one of the predominant understandings of what a watcher, specific class of celestial beings, is capable of is augmenting itself. They can shapeshift. That is by their nature. They're literally called metaschizmazotoi in the Greek, in the New Testament. And it's because he says it's marvel not, because Hasatan, you could say like transforms himself, that's a good word for it, but he shapeshifts himself into an angel of light. And his messengers, his apostles, disciples, they do the same thing. And he's like, this is because they are capable of becoming anything they want to be in order to deceive on one side of the equation. That's what they'll do. And so when people start engaging in these necromantic rituals and other stuff, and they start to seek the embodiment of these celestial ones, they can get these things on them and in them, and they can't contain them. And some of these guys who are messing with this stuff, who don't come from the bloodline, are incapable of cohabitating like a parasite, and they feed off of each other, and they can't handle it. And so that's why families are recruited from these bloodlines, and children are recruited out, even if they don't know anything about it. Like you said, the vast majority of people who come from these bloodlines, there's a lot of muddying of the waters, there's a lot of purity that's been changed, there's a lot of half-breeds, and there's a lot of quarter breeds, right? There's a lot of people that don't know this stuff, and they start to get into less, and all of a sudden it's like the doors of everybody open to them. But that's why. It's because they can host these things better. Whereas those that don't, they get taken over by this stuff, and they can't change back. They can't return.
Y'all remember this photo? This girl's like 14 or 15 at the time. Do you know who this is? Makes sense now?
My name is Tara Rodas, and thanks to the bravery of Aaron Stevenson, and thanks to Project Veritas and James O'Keefe for publishing the story, I was sitting on the Pomona Fairplex emergency intake site processing unaccompanied children. So you may know that children were coming to this country from other countries. We were taking them into the care, HHS, and then delivering them to sponsors, unvetted sponsors throughout the United States. So because one whistleblower came forward and because one organization was willing to tell the truth, I was able to then uncover and report that the U.S. government is the middleman in a large-scale, multi-billion-dollar child trafficking operation. We literally have government-sponsored, taxpayer-funded child trafficking. So one whistleblower coming forward, telling the truth, sets in motion a cascade of things that you could never imagine. So I was very grateful for the opportunity for someone to tell the truth. And who knows, maybe one of you could be the next person to come forward. So, along with my buddy Aaron, I'm going to continue to speak the truth until children are rescued, criminals are prosecuted, and the United States government no longer is putting billions of dollars to traffic children.
It is the largest and most pervasive child trafficking ring in the history of the world by sheer money and numbers.
Children are seized unnecessarily from their families due to the federal aid entitled the Adoption and Safe Families Act.
It was put into law in 1997 by Bill and Hillary Clinton, and I said it that way on purpose. And it is a law that literally steals money from the Social Security Fund and gives this money to the states in order to incentivize them to kidnap babies.
To receive the adoption incentives or bonuses, local CPS must have more children. They must have more merchandise to sell.
Every child, once you've added it all up, is worth approximately $1 million to the state. But we've been told that this is a $60 to $80 billion a year industry, meaning the federal government is taking $80 billion a year and giving that money to all of the 50 states to kidnap children.
Parents are victimized by the system that makes a profit for holding children longer and bonuses for not returning children to their parents.
But their own statistics state that 83% of all children who are taken by CPS, Child Protective Services, are for unsubstantiated allegations, meaning never should it have happened in the first place. So that imagine anything else in the world where you know you get it wrong 83% of the time and you admit it, but you just keep doing it.
Case workers and social workers are often guilty of fraud. They withhold and destroy evidence.
Circe gave birth to Roman Circe. Roman Circe gave birth to Scottish Kirk, and Scottish Kirk gave birth to the English word church. So consequently, when you go to church, just remember it goes back to Mother Circe in Greece. Circe, if you go back to the library and get some books on Greek mythology, it will tell you that her name gives birth to what we call the church today. And Mother Circe was able to hypnotize people and bring them into her home, hypnotize them, and so that they would lose their mind and become animals, and then she would feed off of them, eat them and feed off of them. That's Greek mythology, Mother Circe. So consequently, Mother Church has done just that. One of the most important financial institutions in the world is the Roman Catholic Church, and all the other churches like the Mormons and Seventh-day Adventists and Christadelphians and Jehovah's Witnesses are trying to catch up with.
Is it a false flag or was it real?
I started shooting. Everybody thought it was like fireworks or something at first, and then people just started dropping around us. And
Corinne is a self-admitted narcissist who compares herself to Gandhi.
They ran an ad on Craigslist for crisis actors for that event. Son of a bitch.
everybody tried to stay down, and every time like a group would get up to try to run away, they just start shooting again, and it just kept going on.
You can't make sense out of nonsense, and that's what confounds people so much. They try to say, I'm trying to reason my way through this, and you cannot make sense out of nonsense, and that's what is so frustrating. There's no way that a rational mind can reason through this.
This was obviously an area that was used for direction and project control. Also in this area, we can see the cowboy in the blue shirt, who was ignoring the bullets and waving his hat in the air. He knew there was nothing to fear. As the cameraman approaches the crowd fencing, we can see Lady Liberty, still ignoring the bullets, and shouting instructions as if she were at a wrestling match. And then someone appears who will be familiar to you all. The man in the hat who was calmly filming the crowd getting machine gunned.
This is the third time I tried to get on Wheel of Fortune.
You couldn't have asked for a better child, a better son, a better friend. He had the kind of personality that brought people together, all people.
You're a great contestant because I'm a lot of fun, and other people would enjoy watching me.
And that's why he supported Hillary Clinton. He was impressed with her as a leader. She wants to bring everybody to the table.
Somebody impounds your car. You parked it where it wasn't supposed to be parked, and they towed it, put it in an impound lot. And the guy wants some $250 for towing and $100 a day for storage. Well, anybody that's in possession of your vehicle that doesn't have title to it is renting your vehicle. So you send him a true bill for renting your automobile for as long as he's had it. If you want to go down to the local courthouse, you can pull up a lawsuit by Avis Rent-A-Car or Hertz Rent-A-Car, copy it, and sue the tow truck company. Or if a police officer orders a tow truck company to remove your vehicle from the highway and he won't give it back to you, send him a true bill for for rent-a-car. Your car will be back in one day, maybe a couple hours. The fraud that takes place here is profound with the courthouses and the courts. All judges, attorneys, lawyers, politicians all swear the same oath that no law or fact shall ever be tried in court.
Now, why is that? In New York City, a lot of people in New York City. He's also been to LA. Why is no one in those videos? Well, there's data. Proxemics is the study of how psychological orientations dictate the people's relationships with the physical distance around them. Stay with me. And there have been many studies that have shown that people who are in socially dominant groups expect a larger physical bubble, especially in public. And that's why, dude. That's why white people walk down the street. White people walk down the street like 1,000 Miles is always playing in the background, you know? It's kind of beautiful when you think about it. The sidewalk is their stage. Welcome to the Dave Matthews Band concert. Potluck. Everybody brought a casserole. And dude, I get it. One time I was walking down the street with a group of white people, and I looked like, you know, are we gonna do the thing? And I was like, yeah. They're like, yeah, let's do it. And there was like enough space between each one of us for a golden retriever. And I felt it, man. It felt like, you know the show Friends? I felt like the black character in the show Friends. The black character from Friends. I felt like, his name was, I felt like...
I just saw this awesome video about these pro skaters who took a day trip to New Orleans, and every spot that they were skating at somewhere in the city, this random guy would be walking by, and every time he was walking by, they would land the trick, and he would hype them up. So the first time it happened, they were at this spot at some bank, and one of the guys lands their trick, and he's walking by and says,
y'all stay cool, man.
So obviously they think it's cool, whatever, but then a couple hours later, they're in some other part of the city. This guy's trying his trick over and over again, and all of a sudden the guy comes walking out because he works at that building.
Man, y'all are alone. What's up, brother? Man, I see y'all everywhere doing this shit, bro. I'm y'all number one fan. No, you're the good luck charm. What's up, man? He's gonna do it right here.
Brandon lands, gap to backsmith on that, and we're just like, sick, night, next spot. We go get some food, another like hour goes by. Jordan's like, oh, I got this rail that Brian, I think, would like be able to grind and pop over the little fence. And we're like, all right, yeah, sweet, let's check it. Brian immediately starts going for it. It's getting closer, he's getting closer. We see the guy again.
That's the guy! Shut the up!
He's just like walking down the street, and I'm just like, no way, like, what are the odds? And then that attempt, Brian goes and 50-50s the rail and like lands it.
This shit can't be real. 3 f***ing times back to back. Man, I got to be your top fan. I got to be, bro. 3 f***ing times, bro. Man.
So that glue right there is hooked to this pipe, which is made out of vinyl chloride, which is linked and known to cause cancer. All right, y'all, so this is called PEX plumbing. So if you see this in your house, it's highly toxic. Here's the warning right here. Do not store or install in direct sunlight, made in China. And here's the warning. Cancer and reproductive harm. And we are in Home Depot, and this is where the builders buy it. Put it in your house. So this is called CPVC, which you probably have in your house. Here's that glue I was telling you about for PVC, CPVC, and ABS. Warning, this product is exposed to chemicals including, I don't even know what that word is, which is known in the state of California to cause cancer. If your house is plumbed with CPVC, PEX, and PVC piping, your only alternative is to buy something like this for your showers and for your faucets that catches the water after it goes through all of the trash, after it goes through all of the piping.
These are real material things that are coming right off. The tread of a truck is that wide, that thick, this big around, and there's 18 of them. Then you have all the cars, and then all the battery-powered cars are burning tires even faster now because they're heavier and they go a little faster and they stop. At any rate, that's just one thing. You got brake dust, which is heavy metals and ceramics. Worst ever. And we're breathing it. So thankfully, it's not just gloom and doom. Oh, wow, we're screwed, because you can't stop that stuff. Not at this point. But we do now know how to get it out. So that's a master key to getting this crap out of your body. And when you get it out, you know it. There's not a question of a doubt that it has left your body.
The Netherlands police have arrested Arno van Kessel, the lead attorney suing Bill Gates, Albert Bourla, Mark Rutte et al. For COVID-19 vaccine injuries. The civil process was scheduled to begin on July 9. Mr. Van Kessel was arrested in a Gestapo reminiscent early morning raid by parliamentary police on June 11, where he was reportedly blindfolded, bound, and taken into detention, where he still remains almost 2 months later. Readers will note my tardiness, says Nick Holscher, in reporting this stunning story. The reason is because both the European and the American press have completely ignored both the civil trial against Gates, Bourla, Rutte et al. And Van Kessel's arrest. Nick Holscher says he became aware of the story when Aidan Salazar of InfoWars recently reported on it. Nick says Salazar's report prompted him to do a Google Netherlands search with the keywords Arno van Kessel gearresteerd. That is Arno van Kessel arrested. And he got one search result for a June 27 report in an independent online journal called De Andere Krant, or the other newspaper. The following is an English translation. It says that Arno van Kessel will be held in custody for an additional 90 days because the Public Prosecution Service continues to designate him as a suspect in an investigation into a criminal network, yet without presenting any evidence. This means the Leeuwarden lawyer will definitely not be present at the public hearing on July 9th in the Leeuwarden District Court, where the first substantive hearing in the internationally high-profile case against, amongst others, the State of the Netherlands, Mark Rutte and Bill Gates is scheduled. His partner, Peter Stassen, is on his own, but he says he will appear fully equipped. In early June, this newspaper reported that there was finally some progress in the internationally high-profile lawsuit by Leeuwarden lawyer Arno van Kessel and his Eindhoven colleague Peter Stassen. In 2023, the legal duo announced they would file legal proceedings against Bill Gates, Mark Rutte, the Dutch state, among others. On behalf of their clients, they want to force the judge to issue a clear ruling on the question. Was the COVID-19 mRNA injection a vaccine for the benefit of the population's health or a bioweapon? Van Kessel said. It's one or the other, and there is no in between.
This is Emmy. She died at 11 years old of leukemia, and scientists confirm that pesticides were found in her system, pesticides that her mother was exposed to during pregnancy. So Emmy's death wasn't an accident. Now, this is the first time that pesticide exposure has ever been linked to a child's death. It's also the first time that this has been recognized in the flower industry. Laurie handled these flowers day in, day out, without any PPE, without any protection. And these flowers are sprayed with the same chemicals that end up in our supermarkets. These pesticides are banned, but they're not banned in the country of origin. The flower industry knows because the pesticides are tested. Laurie said if somebody would have warned her, her child would still be here today. So this is the warning that I'm giving you. Flowers, especially those bound for the supermarket, can be soaked in pesticides. You don't know because there's no label, but now you do. But it's different at flower markets where you can speak to the vendors. You can ask them about the pesticides. You can even ask them to see their farm to make sure that there's no abuse, like on the commercial flower farms.
This is from July 21st. Israel bombed a kindergarten in Gaza City. So I can't watch it.
I can't either. Yeah, I don't want to see that either.
They did a double tap. Do you know what that is? So you bomb someone and then you wait for the rescue workers to come and then you bomb the rescue workers. Can you imagine bombing kindergartners?
Hey, why wouldn't they do that if they traffic your kids through Epstein? Why wouldn't they do that?
Did you see those kids? There's this little kids, 5-year-old kids.
Yeah, but they're my genetic enemy and I'm an Ashkenazi. So get them all out. Hey, why doesn't Egypt take the kids in if I'm not supposed to kill them outright? Why doesn't Egypt take them or Jordan? Just because I stole their country, why doesn't Jordan take them? Yeah, don't blame it all on Israel. America's the devil too.
Yes. I mean, I can't even believe that the world has not intervened.
That you see that? That you see that? What more do you have to see?
People aren't even going to acknowledge just basic truth. They're going to live in fantasy land.
Israel says this is not a war crime because the kindergarten is a legitimate military target. As they claim there were tunnels underground this kindergarten, but it's weird because the weaponry they used could not penetrate the ground, meaning they were not going for the underground tunnels, even if they did exist. They were going for the kindergarten and whoever was.
عمرك بحياتك ما شفت حدا بيروح على الموت برجليه. احنا بغزة عندنا لعبة اسمها لعبة الموت من اجل الطعام. الساعة 8 الصبح اتحركنا على مكان توزيع المساعدات. المنطقة هاي لازم تجري فيها لانه خطر والرصاص من فوق روسنا كان يمشي. بعد 4 كيلو جراي هاي اخر نقطة ممكن نوصلها. الدبابة كانت قدامنا، ادهم كان بده يسوقها. حكونا فتحة رحنا نجري. من وين الناس بتطلع والله ما بتعرف. حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل في اللي وصلنا لهيك حال. انا حاليا داخل مكان التوزيع وبصراحة ما كنت قادر اتنفس نهائيا. كمية الناس مش طبيعية، في ناس اخذت وناس لا. بصراحة حزنت على حالي وحزنت على الحياة اللي احنا قاعدين بنعيشها. كنت سعيد جدا اني قدرت اروح شوية اغراض لاهل البيت، فتخيل اني ما روح اشي. وادهم كان ماسك كيسه بلاش يشرب. بعد مشي 4 كيلو بعز الشمس لقينا مكان نرتاح فيه، لانه بصراحة ما كنا قادرين نمشي. اخذت الكيس ورايح للوالدة، دش سريع والحمد لله. هاي الاشياء اللي قدرت اجيب.